Hey everyone, welcome to episode 4 of the last podcast you'd want. A YouTube show. Steve here with another great episode for you. Today we're talking about 5 movies. You could call them suspense, you could call them thrillers, you could call them heists. It's all a little bit of everything. But we're going to get right into it. 5 great movies for you today from my personal DVD collection that I want to recommend that if you don't know, you should definitely give a chance. We're going to start with 2007, 2 hours and 37 minutes. It's got a great cast. Robert Downey Jr., Jake Gyllenhaal, Mark Ruffalo. I'm talking about Zodiac. This is great. Based on the true story of the notorious serial killer and the intense manhunt he inspired, Zodiac is a superbly crafted thriller from the director of Seven and Panic Room, featuring an outstanding ensemble cast led by Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., and Mark Ruffalo. It is a singularly haunting examination of twin obsessions, one man's desire to kill and another's quest for the truth. I think it's great. If you don't know it, you should definitely check it out. It's a bit of a long one. Like I said, 2 hours and 37 minutes, so it's a commitment. It's not as long as Endgame. It's not as long as It Chapter 2, but still a really good film. If you haven't seen it, if you don't know what it's about, just check it out. It's worth it. If you the Zodiac Killer back in the day, in the 60s or 70s or something like that. It's Bay Area, San Francisco. Next, 1992, running time of 1 hour and 39 minutes. We have an amazing cast: Michael Madsen, Steve Buscemi, Tim Roth, Harvey Keitel, Quentin Tarantino, Chris Penn. Reservoir Dogs. It's one of my favorite of Quentin Tarantino. Pulp Fiction is probably my favorite Quentin Tarantino film, but this one's great. I actually got Michael Madsen to do my voicemail at Comic-Con once. His exact voicemail was, "This is Mr. Blonde, and you've reached Steve's voicemail. So you gonna bark all day, little doggy? Or are you gonna leave a message?" I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the film. It's got a lot of great quotable bits to it. If you know, it's got a whole bit about the wait staff and why you should tip or not tip, all that great jazz. 1992. I want to say that this is the oldest film I have, but this is a really good one. Have you seen Reservoir Dogs? Why not? Why haven't you seen it? It's 1992. I love that movie. Next, I think it's funny that Zodiac, because I didn't even put them together. 1995, 2 hours, 7 minutes. Now, I'm not going to lie. I waited until I was 23 years old to watch this movie, and I think I still should have waited longer. Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Kevin Spacey. 7. It's a film about the 7 deadly sins. Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman star in a searing psychological thriller about 2 detectives on the trail of a vicious serial killer who chooses his victims according to the 7 deadly sins. This riveting classic also stars Academy Award winner Gwyneth Paltrow and is directed by David Fincher. The Panic Room and Fight Club. 7 will knock you out of your seat, and it will. It will fuck with your head. It will mess with your mind, but it is an amazing movie, and I love it. If you haven't seen it, if you don't know what it's about, watch it. The 7 deadly sins, can you name them? I can't name a sloth, gluttony, pride, envy. It's 4. Do they have them? They don't. They should have just had them all on there. That's okay, though. Moving on. 2002, running time of 2 hours and 4 minutes. This is the first movie in a series. It's not the first movie. It's the first book. I want to say it's the 3rd movie they made. Ed Norton, Anthony Hopkins, Ray Fiennes, Red Dragon. Anthony Hopkins reprises his Oscar-winning role as the infamous Dr. Hannibal Lecter in the thrilling prequel critics are hailing as a suspenseful masterpiece. After capturing Dr. Lecter, FBI agent Will Graham, that's Ed Norton, retires only to be called back to active duty to hunt down an elusive killer, the Tooth Fairy. That's Ralph Fiennes. Red Dragon, I think I said Ray. Ray is his brother. Ralph is the other one. Red Dragon is an electrifying, critically acclaimed movie that returns the series to the Silence of the Lambs form. I really like this one. I want to say it was Silence of the Lambs, then I want to say they made Hannibal, then they made Red Dragon. I've read all 3 books. I have watched all 3 movies. Red Dragon is easily my favorite. Everyone's always a sucker for Silence of the Lambs. I'm not a big Clarice Starling fan. So the books are great. Hannibal legitimately made me upset to my stomach when reading it. But Red Dragon, great read, great movie. I'm a big Ralph Fiennes fan. I think he does amazing as the Tooth Fairy in it. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman giving an astounding performance in Red Dragon. Rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Which brings us to our last film. Now, I watched Seven when I was 23. And in 2007, a film came out. It's an hour and 38 minutes. I was 23 when this film came out, and I saw it. And the movie messed with my head so much. Jim Carrey, Virginia Madsen, the number 23. Jim Carrey and Virginia Madsen star in the year's most mind-bending psychological thriller directed by Joel Schumacher. The Nightmare Begins... Sorry, I'm getting over the flu. The nightmare begins when Walter Sparrow, a mild-mannered dog catcher, begins reading a tattered, used book called The Number 23. Obsessed by the countless similarities between the degenerate main character and himself, Walter plunges headlong into the same dark, seductive world where the book's main character commits an unspeakable act. Walter is terrified that he's destined to follow the same twisted path. This movie came out, like I said, I was 23, and so many weird things with numbers, and it's all psychological. It's all messing with you. But the number 23, when this movie came out, and I just started doing math and all the with my name and my birth date and all of that, like, it's 23. Like, plain and simple, it's 23. This is my top recommendation of all the films that I have talked about today. Number 23 is the number one. Sit down and watch them. If I had to rank them, watch them to the most to watch them the least, it would be number 23, then Red Dragon, then Reservoir Dogs, then Zodiac, then Seven. Save Seven for last. That film will mess with your head. But these are all great heist, thrillers, psychologicals. Right there for you. In the order I gave them, though. Zodiac, Reservoir Dogs, Seven, Red Dragon, and last but not least, the number 23. Guys, I know it's been a minute since I've done a video. I'm going to try and get back to it. I've been dealing with a lot. I've been sick. We just adopted a puppy. He's outside. Otherwise, I'd be like, oh, this is my puppy. So, I mean, this is the show. Yay, YouTube. It's amazing. You get to see me in person instead of just listening to me on your ear. If you didn't know I have a podcast, check it out. It's available on all major podcast outlets, iTunes, Google Cast, Stitcher, Spotify. The Last Podcast You'd Want. It's the name of the show. It's the name of the podcast. Episodes drop every Thursday. We'll have a new episode this Thursday. Every Thursday we drop new episodes. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's been the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, hit that thumb up thing, hit the subscribe button. I'm new to YouTube. This is all new to me. But, you know, yay, subscribe, like, tell your friends, tweet it out, shout it out. I'd find it out. They don't do Vine anymore, do they? I don't know. Tip the veal. Try the staff. I'll see you next time.